Hi, welcome to session 19. We'll be continuing and I believe concluding our discussion of the Frankfurt School's rejection of virtues as oppressive tools of those in power. Now, I concluded session 17 with a bold statement that our behaviors and intentions, whether moral or immoral, are only important when others are with us, when we are in community. Hence, you can say that immorality is the dominion of those who live alone on islands, and that intentional immorality is the dominion of sociopaths. Morality, ethics, virtues, and behavior standards are and should be determined collectively as a result. One of our subscribers asked the following after session 17. Question mark. Virtues that are beneficial and destructive to communities in the short or long term. Now, I appreciate the question, and I believe it is thought-provoking. I recommend we consider it from consider the extremes perspective. If virtues will only derive community benefit in the long term, they may not be compelling today. However, if they only provide near-term benefit, they may tend to be more oppressive. For me, the conclusion is that they need to provide both near-term and timeless, not long-term, timeless benefit to the communities, with an expectation that they will change over time as conditions change. Thank you again, subscriber, for the question. For today's discussion, my conclusion is that the sweeping Frankfurt School view that moral, ethical, and virtuous standards of behavior are oppressive tools of those in power denigrates the purpose of morality, ethics, virtues in the first place, but that unfortunately that is now the dominant opinion. Here's some examples of what I see around us that validate this assertion for me. See, we elect politicians who are publicly and unrepentantly dishonest, practicing legalism vice morality. Legalism is a view that if I'm not convicted, what I do or have done is acceptable. See, character is now seen as oppressive. A majority of marriages, independent of age, type, or gender, fail. The reasons are primarily bad behavior or bad intentions, like dishonesty, abuse, or other infidelities of behavior or intent, because fidelity in marriage is now seen as oppressive. We hypersexualize ourselves and our children and see self-control over what we watch or wear or read or do as oppressive. We make heroes and heroines of people who are actively destroying communities with drugs, promiscuity, etc. And we declare efforts to control or reverse these behaviors as oppressive. And we demand abortion as a right of bodily autonomy, or to quell fear of further economic hardship, or to avoid having to raise a deformed or disabled child, or simply as a personal expediency, because the unborn are now frequently seen as oppressive. Now, these are all seen now as oppressions. You may not agree that all of these are oppressions, but we need to have these types of nuanced discussions of what is or is not moral. They are an important and necessary part of living in community. We should expect groups within a community will have to compromise or tolerate. And we should expect that what we value in this regard will evolve as we gain understanding of the world around us and as that world changes. But that necessary and important evolution does not equate to the Frankfurt School's tenet that morals are inherently oppressive tools of those in power, or to our behavior aligned to that tenet. Now, morality, ethics, virtues, behavioral standards are proven over and over thousands of years, to be the glue that holds us together in community. Let's wrap up this discussion by declaring the proposition that an absence of moral clarity and a shared sense of values across a family, a community, or across the wider society destroys the trust needed for individuals to live in and contribute to their family, to their community, and to their society. During our next session, we will discuss critical theory's rejection of religion. Aloha.